Turning in, and my oh my, we have some absolute behemoths here. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Calmlands. This is the multiplayer co-op with Nordic Farming, and we've reached episode number 57. Starting out at the farmhouse today, and that's because it's been a little while since the last session, and we need to inspect our olives and grapes, because they look like they have been growing, and I can confirm that we have got some olives growing on there, which is fantastic, and these are showing that they are in the latter stages of growth, so olives should be ready very soon. And of course we have our vines, our grape vines over here, and these are a bit behind the olives, but they have started to grow, and if we have a little inspect we can see, yeah, we've got some very small grapes growing on there, which is nice to see. So this should continue growing, but yeah, not the last time, but the time before that we had quite an operation getting this all mulched, cultivated and sprayed, although we didn't need to spray because precision farming doesn't need any fertilizer when it's grapes and olives. Right, that's the vineyard all checked out, so we're going to go check on the poplar which we drilled last time. So we're down at the biomass plant, which has been whirring away converting straw into energy, and here is our poplar that was drilled by our auto drivers, and it has sprouted, so that is pretty good. But we didn't apply any fertilizer, so we've got no nitrogen in there. We will have to come and spray some solid fertilizer. But yet Nordic and I think it's looking pretty good so far. Right, on to today's jobs, and we have quite an operation because we've got 2 fields of sorghum ready to harvest. So if we take a look, our sorghum in Hillside and in Cowmanfield is ready to harvest. So Nordic and I are going to get busy with that today. So we've jumped in the Fent, and first of all, Nordic and I, oh I don't need the plough, Nordic and I have purchased something that is going to hopefully make our harvesting a little bit more efficient, and it's to do with how we are able to unload as we are harvesting, because our previous auto drivers were not working the best. We've actually bought some very large auger bins which are going to hold all of the crop we harvest. And then we're going to use the auto drivers to ferry the crop from the bins to the silo. So yeah, let's go and fetch the bins that we've purchased. Turning in, and my oh my, we have some absolute behemoths here. 2 of these rather large auger bins, and I will hitch up to them so you can see which one it is. And yeah, while we're hitching I'll probably show the store page. And here it is, the Coolamon 150T, rather large, $135,000, needs 300 horsepower to pull it, and it can take 185,000 litres. So this is really going to help us improve our harvesting efficiency. So Nordic has set off, and we are going to set the auto drivers for this. Probably need to pull out of Nordic's way so he can escape here, and hopefully we can manoeuvre out of here as well. So we've set our driver to our waypoint bin 1, hill, pig and view, because this area is going to serve all 3 of those fields: hillside, pig, farm, field and lake view. Okay, so despite it being a bit of a behemoth, we can actually get out of here, which is good. So let's take this just out onto the road, and then we can set our auto driver off. Auto driver is enabled, and you can see the reverse steering in action here to make it more manoeuvrable. That is pretty good. Right, they are going to drive to the grass section between the 3 fields, and we can go and fetch one of the lorries and get a trailer, because the lorry drivers are going to ferry from this auger bin to the silo. So we are in the Tatra Phoenix, and we want a pickup and deliver mode. The pickup will be bin 1, hill, pig, view, unload, and then the destination will be the farm silo, and it will be sorghum. So we can set this chap off. They will go to the appropriate point, and yet Nordics is off in the distance as well. And Nordic and I are going to get some harvesters ready. For this is our lovely golden sorghum that's ready to harvest. Okay, so we are in the harvester. Got the header attached already, so that's good. We can just negotiate our way out of here. And we want to head over to Hillside Field first of all. I think Nordic has gone off to service or refuel while he's waiting. And yeah, it looks like one of our auger bins is at the wait point. So we're over at wait number 1 for the bins. And we want to open up the cover of the auger, and then we can also pipe out, and you might get the drift here. So we are going to pull alongside the bins with the harvesters, drop all of the sorghum we harvest in there, and then the lorry driver is going to come and drive alongside, fill up and take it back to the farm silo, so the bins shouldn't get full. Right, I think we're at the starting point now, so we can unfold the harvester, get the header attached, and this field's probably a bit too small to operate GPS, so won't worry with that too much for now. Right, I think we are both ready, so we can fire into action and get our first field of sorghum harvested. We'll see you when we are finished. Last slither collected, and that is Hillside Field all harvested up. And it's been a bit of trial and error, our first harvest practicing with these auger bins. And well, I guess issue number 1 is that this auger bin is parked way too close to the cliff edge that leads into the farmyard, so we can't access it very well. We didn't know or didn't test how the auger was going to open, and it's got one cover on the far side, so we've actually just been dropping straight into the lorry. And lesson number 2 is that we do need to make sure we position the auger bins at a fair pace or space between each one. Make sure we're going to get round to it. And yeah, I think we managed to space them out reasonably well, but maybe the first one was a bit too close. But that's probably a good grass area, nice and open for us to deposit into. So we can get the header unfolded, lowered and dropped off. And then we need to set the tractors with the auger bins to go wait at the next field. So Nordic has set up 2 waypoints at Cowman Field for the bins to go. So yeah, I'll just get hitched up to the header and we can set them off. So we're in the trusty Vario with our big auger bin, and we want to change the location for the driver to bin 1 Cowman. So bin 1 Cow South Bank, so that serves both fields. He's folded up, so we'll send him on his way. And luckily there's not much left in the auger bin, so it's not too heavy. And we've just hopped in the truck driver who's coming back to the wait point. We need to switch him off and send him to bin 1 Cow South Bank unload, and it stays as farm silo and sorghum. So we'll send him on his way. Back in the harvester, and we should be good to set up and start harvesting in the time that it'll take the auto drivers to get in position. Nordic is leading the headland this time, so we'll meddle into the trees and get set up, but not blocking Nordic. So we'll unfold the harvester and follow in Nordic's footsteps. The auto drivers are in position, so we can set ourselves going. We're going to use GPS for this one. So time to get our second sorghum field all harvested, and we'll see you when we're finished. GPS off, harvester off, and we are done. Don't know why I had the beacon on, still flashing from the previous unload. And I think it's fair to say that worked pretty efficiently, much more efficiently than us waiting for auto drivers to come and unload us on the move. And yeah, sometimes we had to drive over to the bins because we filled up at a point where we weren't near the bin, but that wasn't too much of an issue because these harvesters are actually quite speedy. They can do about 25-26 mile an hour. And these bins are pretty massive that we haven't even come close to filling them up. And of course our runners with the truck and trailers have been doing the rounds to the silo. So it's not even as if these bins are going to be heavy to pull back. So I think that was pretty successful. But potentially on some of the smaller fields we don't need the auger bins. We could just have the trucks and trailers at the weight points. And when they get to 80-85%, they just drive off back to the silo and come back. But then there's a question of whether they could go to the silo and back by the time we are next round the field and at their position again. It's always a difficult one to try and organise. But yeah, we can see the autodriver is off on their merry way back to the silo. I think Nordic said that we had about 70,000 litres of sorghum still in the silo at the point of us doing our first harvest. So we'll see how much sorghum we have actually got. But we've got to get these back to the yard, washed up and serviced. They are filthy dirty. And it seems like I'm following the very slow autodriver. They are very careful on the corners. Get to the wash point so we can pull up, hop out and give it a well-deserved wash. It has been a long day out in the field. Should just be able to squidge in here and we can shut off, turn the beacon off. And I think Nordic is sending some of the drivers back with the bins and the trailers. Oh, it seems like he's driving this one back manually. Here he is. Oh Christ, we better get out of his way. Now these are some mighty bins and they've worked pretty well today and are going to help us with our larger fields. I'd say we probably harvested, well, our smallest field, Hillside, and then one of our medium-sized fields, Cowman, but we've got South Bank and Lakeview, our two biggest to get harvested, and of course Lakeside as well. So yep, that's going to help us pretty well with those big fields. And we're going to park up these bins along the cliff edge, and that should hopefully be a good storage position for them. And we will come and pick up this bin. We can hold the auger in and get the cover closed. It's been fully emptied by our autodriver, so all we need to do is just head back and park it up like Nordic has done with the other one. And surprisingly, although these are pretty big pieces of kit, quite manoeuvrable, especially with that rear steering. It's almost like when you see those really big Freightliner trucks that have got something very large and heavy like a windmill blade or something like that on the back of them, and you can see the trailer wheels moving and turning and adjusting. Yeah, we've got some oversized loads now on Calm Farm because we've grown quite big. And we can reverse this one up, drop it off and park up the Fent. There we go. And the next and last job is going to be heading on down to our poplar to get that spread with fertiliser. But before we do, one thing I noticed is there's a hatch on the back of these auger bins. So it looks like, because they are so large, if we need to get in there and clean them out, you've got a handy little hatch here to do so. That's pretty cool. Alright, so I think Nordic is in the Deutz. We can hop in with him. Hello. And he's going to do the driving. We're going to sit in the cab seat and we'll grab the spreader and we're going to get some fert spread on the poplar field. And that is, of course, called Bridgeway Field. We created that last time. We had to mow the grass there. We forage picked it up and got all that grass into the silo. Our autodriver compacted it for us, and if you recall, he actually fell off the back. Slightly damaged the Classarian, but it's not too bad. So yes, we have got the poplar planted, and we need to get that fertiliser spread. Looks like there's lime in the spreader, so we need to drop that off and switch it for fert. We've got 50% of fertiliser, that's probably all we're going to need, so let's head on down there and we can get to spreading. So we get to sit and enjoy the ride whilst Nordic is going to do the fert spreading. And yeah, Calm Farm is pretty busy these days. We obviously have to employ the auto drivers to keep on top of all the jobs. And we've got 2 fields harvested now. Once we get the opportunity, we can come along and drill the next crop in those fields. We'll of course check for whether we need to plough or lime Cowman and Hillside. So down in South Bank to the left and Lakeside to the right, we've got our wheat growing. And that is going to be hopefully ready to harvest in the next month or so. And that's going to have straw as byproduct, and that straw is going to be pumped into our biomass heating plant, which has currently got just sub of 1 million litres in there. And that's making electricity for us, alongside our BGA, which is turning silage into biogas, and that's coming from the chaff stored in the fermenting silo. So yeah, we're pretty good in terms of quantity. Right, we're going to get all of this fertiliser spread, and we'll see you when we're done. And we are done. Quite a quick job because the fert spreader has got a good range and fantastic. Yeah, we were just cab riding it there. Backseat drivers for getting the fert done, so thank you for doing that, Nordic. Nice job. So, been a busy day. We've got 2 harvests done and we used our auger bins, which was pretty successful, and we'll be utilising that for some of our bigger fields that we will be harvesting in the next couple of months or so. And then we fert spread our poplar, which is growing quite nicely. Now, one thing we're going to have to do next time is we've got a bunker full of, well, it's now silage, because it has told us that it's fully fermented. So we'll probably be getting the milling machine and loading it into the BGA next time at some point. But that is it for today. Hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe, and check out Nordic's channel for his perspective of today's session. But until next time, we will catch you later. Cheers all, bye bye.